Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Purpose in Pain Conversations. My name is Tiisetso, and you're tuned into a safe space where we'll have heart conversations on life, love, and all things healing. Today, I have my friend, special guest. You guys know her as the Rolex girl. She put TikTok on fire, but we'll get into that. Her name is Promise Makunyane. She's a mom. She's a wife. She's a content creator and influencer, and a brand ambassador. She's all that. She'll introduce herself shortly. Welcome.
Thank you, Mom.
Thank you so much for taking the time to sit with me.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah. So
It's
tell
a
us a bit
privilege
about.
to be your friend.
I mean, so tell us a bit about yourself. I mean, I know you. I could go on and on, but also my peoples and the peoples that are watching need to know who you are.
So, hi everyone. My name is Promise Makunyane, 30 years old. Oh, I'm only turning 30 in June. And I was born and bred. I don't know if I should go back to...
However you wanna.
Yeah, so I was born and bred in Tafokop, which is a village in Limpopo. And that's where I went to school, graduated. I went to Pretoria, studied public relations management, graduated. I'm a mom, wife. Actually, I should start by saying I'm a wife.
Hallelujah.
And oh my gosh. So I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a digital content creator, and I also have a 9 to 5. I'm actually a campaign coordinator in the influencer marketing unit. I'm a businesswoman. I run a errands and concierge company. I also have a clothing line. So I'm just the girl next door. Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of people know you as Promise Makunyane,
Yeah.
strong-willed, very vocal, very opinionated. I just want us to go, before we get into that, so that people can get to know you properly, I just want us to go quickly into how you grew up. You mentioned how you were in Tafokop.
Yeah.
Tell us about your childhood and how you think that has affected the strong-willed person that we are seeing now.
So as I've already said, I was born and bred in Tafokop. I'm coming from a family of 7. We are 7. I'm the 4th born. Mom and dad, they've been married for like since 86, 38 years, I think. Odds, I don't know. I grew up, my childhood started with my grandmother. I grew up with my grandmother, and I went to the school in like the villages, and I went to, after... my childhood, I'm still trying to decode my childhood, and I might get emotional because I really...
Yeah.
So I grew up with my grandmother. From my grandmother, I went to stay with my aunt. From my aunt, I went to stay home with my parents and my siblings. And that's when I started school at, like, in our town. Yeah. And from there, I went to Polokwane. I stayed in Polokwane, and I stayed there for like three weeks. I came back. And yeah, that's just about my childhood and how it has affected me. I'm still trying to find, like, to put it into perspective. But what I know is that I always thought I was like this strong person, and I did not know that me being strong was actually like a defense mechanism that I was using. I'm actually soft, but I'm still trying to tap into the soft side of myself, because
Find the balance
because being strong, I'm like strong throughout. It's tiring, and I'm a mom now. I can't always be strong. I'm raising like little kids, I'm married. I can't always be strong in my marriage, so I personally think, my childhood has affected me in a way that the first years of my life, I was moving around,
You had to be independent from your family.
Like, it's like, I won't really say being independent from my family, but it's more like, okay, maybe let me explain it, right?
Okay.
So when I was young, I used to move around, but when I was looking at it, when I was still growing up, it wasn't a problem.
Yeah, no, obviously.
Yeah, it wasn't a problem. For example, my parents are the best parents. You know? My family is like family sharp, and that's how I grew up until I got married.
Yeah.
Until I had kids. That's when now I was forced to see that actually there is something that
There's some cracks.
There's some cracks, and you said I only started seeing that there are cracks in my childhood when I got married.
Yeah.
Because marriage, it actually mirrors you,
Exposes.
It exposes. And then now I started having children, and it's like, I'm actually wounded. I've got a wound that I need to attend to. So
the thing about trauma that I've just also realized is that at the moment, it doesn't register to you as trauma. So even in you moving around, you wouldn't have seen it as you being forced to independently do things, because you still had to go. You could still go to your mom. You were staying with family members. You were going, you get what I mean? So, but your subconscious is picking up certain things that you had to learn. You had to learn to stand up for yourself, because you're not really amongst immediate people who can fight for you. You get what I mean? There's something that we once spoke about, and you didn't mention, and I hope it's not off the table.
No, nothing is off the table.
You got into an accident.
Yeah.
And I think when you relate that story for me, and just putting it together to what you were saying now, it kind of threatened the strong girl that you became, because now you were forced to be weakened. And let's talk about that.
Now that, so jumping into me starting my first year in 2011, I went, and that's another thing, I went to Pretoria to register. Yeah. I went by myself.
Yeah.
You get.
Exactly.
I went by myself and I had an accident. That moment is very emotional for me, because that's when I was threatened. Like you put it so well, because when that happened, I could not be strong anymore. I was forced to go back home, and so I was hit by a motorbike, and then I damaged my left femur bone, and I was supposed to be on bed rest for like 3 months. I was looking forward to starting life in the city. So from there, I had to now go home, be there for like 3 months when my peers are starting. So that moment, I could not do anything, And that's why, even again, that moment, I just shove it at the back of my head. After that moment, and I was still strong. Even when I was sick, I was just doing, like, just trying to prove that I don't have to be on this bed. I can walk, I can do this, I can do that. But I wasn't supposed to do all that. But it was like who I've grown up to be, And I don't know. Yeah. So it is now that I realize that the moving around has made me this tough person. Yeah. This person that is strong, this person that is not supposed to cry, this person that is supposed to defend themselves. It's like fight or flight with me. It's fight or flight.
And the accident made you defenseless.
It made me defenseless, and and that's why I was still thinking about it. It took me, I just shoved this for like 10 years. I'm only speaking, this happened maybe 10 years, 12 years, 2010, 2011. That I could not even remember. It's when I look at my scars, but even at that moment, I don't think about that moment. It's just like scars, and then life goes on. So, and I was listening to this podcast, self-healer, sound something. I was listening to it, and it says that lady, they were talking about mother wounds. So they were saying that you have the right to speak about your experiences, because for long, when I got married and I was realizing all these things, I did not want to speak about them. I did not want to realize them, because now I'm questioning my mother. Now I'm going against that family that I've always known, the perfect picture family, and now I'm saying my mother maybe is a bad mom, and on that podcast they're saying you have the right to speak about your truth, your feelings, how you are feeling. It does not take away from the fact that your mother is a great mother, but there was a moment in my life that, and it was just the decision she took, that I don't know why she took that, and she obviously has reasons, but you can't really speak to black moms. You can't ask questions. Not like that. So that moment, she took a decision as a mother for whatever reason, but that moment wounded me. And I just wanted to find a way where I can actually speak about this without disrespecting my mother, without saying my mother is a bad mom, because she's not.
No, you're not.
She's not. And
I think, one thing that has, I think I also just realized in my personal healing journey is that we especially when it comes to a mom.
Yeah.
Because the narrative out there is dads are bad. So even if you speak about a dad who did something, it's not even that, but now you think about everything that your mom has done for you.
Yeah.
You think about everything that she has to go through.
Yeah.
And then you're like, but what would this thing actually do? You think you speaking about the wound will take away the fact that she's actually a good person. But actually what I realized is that wound that I got from her made me realize how much she was also wounded.
100%.
And right now I'm also trying to navigate how to speak to her about it, because I don't want to be like, hey, you're broken to my mom, But I've started like asking questions, like I'll ask maybe a question about, so when you were growing up, how did this happen? And then change the topic to something else, because I don't want her to be defensive.
Yes.
I don't want her to feel like I'm prying and make her go through stuff. I'm not a psychologist. If she starts crying, I wouldn't know what to do, But I think it's very important for us to first identify the wounds that we are going through so that we are able to speak to them. Don't speak
100%.
prematurely about it, because then it would be a mess.
You are so right, and most especially when you say that. What I want to say is that between me and you, again, it's like different platforms, because you are a firstborn.
Yeah.
I'm a fourthborn.
Yeah.
My sister, my brother can speak to my mom, find ways to speak to my mom. And she will revere them as like the adult.
And your experience with your siblings to your mom is like different.
I got disturbed. Okay.
Yeah.
My experience with my mom.
Yeah. Like your siblings have a different relationship with your mom than you.
Yeah. 100%. But my mother is not a vocal person.
Yeah.
Like, she's not like a spoiling mother. She's not like a mother that will speak with you guys. So I don't really actually see any difference where she's like putting this one over this one. I honestly don't see all those things, because she's not even vocal. She's not. She won't talk about emotions. She won't talk about anything, you know. And
So I just want us to quickly speak about how that has affected you, like you knowing that there is a brokenness in you now in your marriage, because you did say that it happened in your marriage. Yeah. How has that affected the wife you have become and the mother that you have become?
It affected me so much. I've been married for 5 years. Yeah. I've been a mother for 3 years. And I'm a flight and fight. I've said it. I'm a flight and fight. You can't fight. You can fight, but not like and fight. I don't mean physical fight. I just mean argue and
disagree.
You can't always disagree. You have to listen to the next person. You can't just fight. I can't just pick up my bags and leave my marriage. And before I actually went into my inner child, that was always my escape.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go. I'm packing my bags. I'm going. Now, when you've got kids, I can't always be packing my bags and going, and the kids seeing me. Now I'm just doing another trauma on my kids.
Exactly.
That there's no stability. And I think that's one thing that I should speak about. The moving made me not to be a stable person, because I'm always, what is the next move? If this doesn't work? Yeah, like, even when things are working for a long time, and I've realized in my marriage, if they are working, I'm like, no.
This can be.
Something is coming. We are going to get divorced. We are not going to work. Like, let me just go now. You know, that's always been at the back of my mind. And actually with my kids as well. And you spoke about our mother being wounded as well. And I try to look at that, and I'm like, I don't want to look at my mother being wounded without looking at myself being wounded first and understanding that, because I realized my mother as well was raised by a portion of her life. She was raised by her aunt, right? And she has her own story through that. And I was also moving around. And another thing is that I was the only child that was moving around. So when I started my healing journey, I wanted to know, why was I the only person moving around? Why did I stay there? And when there were kids coming after me, but they were staying home and stuff like that. And I wasted time, and I was building a resentment in myself because I could not speak to my mom, one. And secondly, I can't speak to my mom, one. Secondly, I cannot confront the issue. So that's when I lost the factor. Why was this happening to me? Pointing fingers, and started saying, how do I need to heal? Like, can I just look at the wound and start healing it? Those, like, why that happened to me, it's secondary. I need to uncover the wound and start saying, okay, let me go to therapy. Let me start doing the inner child. Let me listen to podcasts. Let me meet people and speak about this thing, because that's what's important. I'm living my life going forward. Me now trying to question my mother and it will delay. Yes, it's important, but it's not primary. Look at healing so that you can go forward and hopefully find courage to speak about these things with your parents. Or
I mean, me being like closer, I can see the work that you're doing. And I see how now people are benefiting from it now.
100%.
And that goes into how you value, and I mean, we're concluding the conversation, but you value taking care of yourself, which is the healing part, and taking care of your family. Just briefly speaking about that, just tell us about how you've come to that awakening that it's important to fix yourself so that you are in a happy marriage and family.
100%. And taking care of myself, it's through inner child healing. Before me going to spas and doing whatever, I'm doing the work through therapy, through listening to people's like podcasts, through meeting people. Even though I just fall off now and then, but I know this is my mission. I'm going to heal myself, I'm going to realize who I am, because as a people, we just say, oh, I'm Promise, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this. But you don't know your root. Go back to your root. You'll find out that who you are now is actually just fluffs. You are wounded. For example, I'll just go back to my accident. For a long time, because of my accident, I did not care about exercising. I did not care about being fit. And when I was young, I was a person who was climbing trees and doing whatever. So when I had that accident, it killed that side of me about being active and stuff. So after it killed it, that means even what I would do about maybe exercising or working as a sports, whatever, I've killed that dream. And then now I'm going to say, oh no, I'm a model, I'm this, I'm that. But actually, deep down, you're supposed to be a sports person, but your trauma killed that dream, So I go back, I do the work with a therapist, I fall off, but I always want to go forward with my healing journey. And as well, into my home, I've realized that my marriage is at a better place. My motherhood journey is at a better place now that I went back. I'm confronting a lot of things, and it's made me a better wife. It's every time I thought my marriage was falling apart or whatever, I would always say it's because of my husband. Because he will do 1, 2, 3, and I'll focus on that.
You're not looking at yourself.
I'm not looking at myself. And that's why right now I also have the courage to speak about my marriage, like publicly, to say, oh guys, now my husband loves. I could not say all those things because I did not really love myself as well.
So you couldn't receive the love.
I could not receive the love.
I love that so much. Wow, we need to have this. We need to have a part 2.
Part 2, please.
Yeah, where we go deeper on what's happening now in the marriage, in your healing journey.
Important. And,
so you heard it first. This is like the part that you don't really see on TikTok.
No.
So all the good things you see on TikTok literally comes from inner work, healing. And I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
And we are yet to see what this new healed Promise is going to bring to us. We are enjoying what we are seeing now, and we know that you're going to go to higher heights. Thank you so much for taking your time to be here with me. And if there's anything that you guys need to take away from this conversation, is the importance of doing inner healing work. It does so much for yourself, and you are able to, like she said, you're able to receive love because you're loving yourself in that manner. So where can people get a hold of you?
So you can get hold of me on TikTok, Instagram. It's Promise_Makunyane both. And I'm also on YouTube, which is Mrs. Law. But if you go to my Instagram, Promise_Makunyane, and my TikTok, you'll find my YouTube link. So I'm all about marriage, motherhood, inner child healing, and just living your best life. And I'm not talking materially, just holistically living your best life, and it's a journey.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
And
Mama.
this was Purpose in Pain. There is purpose in your pain. And if you hold on and you lean in closer, you will get to the purpose. My name is Tiisetso, and thank you so much for watching. Until the next video.